to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. We are a Geelong-based gaming podcast where we put on bad events and then talk badly about them.
And not the bad that was kind of cool in the 90s either. Like, let's be really clear about that.
We're not kicking ass and chewing bubblegum. We're I'm trying to think of an example now.
I'm trying to walk and chew gum and doing it badly.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, dear. So a couple of weeks ago, we put on WSS Series 4, the fourth WSS series that we have put on, ironically enough.
Is this one of those Alanis Morissette ironies?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just checking.
WSS series, if you don't know anything about it, I'm sure you probably do if you listen to this.
Absolutely know about it.
Yeah. But it's a very stupid sevens event where we throw stupid stuff in every round. And the last couple of years we've done it for Beyond Blue, which is a hell of a cause and very important. So this year we had 33 players all up. We had a couple of dropouts towards the day itself. So we ended with 33 players, which meant you got to play, Jace.
Yeah, got hectic, but we're here.
Did you want to go through sort of a spread of the teams and the skills? And
let's talk about all the people that came, maybe a couple of the sweet rosters. I don't know. Let's talk. And so what I've got here is a split of all of the submitted teams. So there were a couple of dropouts. And we did get a little bit creative with the pack. So we might have encouraged some additional silliness. And I think people chose to embrace that. If I look at the fact that the most represented teams were goblins and snotlings with 5 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
People went
That's hard. Unusual.
People went hard on the stunties, but I would argue that becomes less of a stretch when you let people induce a giant.
Mm-hmm.
And stunties are the bestest, cheapest way of putting a team together where you can afford a giant.
Yes, absolutely correct.
And then you can still have a chainsaw or a flinger or other excellent things. So, I mean, that was 10 of the teams right there. Lizardmen were the next.
Mm-hmm.
Most popular with 4, which was super fun. Almost all identical because that's how you build a Lizardman team. Some people chose not to take Crocs, and to you I say shame.
Have the fun. Embrace the fun of a Croxicle who is going to bonehead every time you don't want him to.
Yeah, every time you actually need them to be useful. Anyhow, and then we had a really big split of, Amazons, Black Orcs, Humans, Khorne, Norse, all with 2 apiece, and then a whole bunch of 1s, including things like College of Beasts, because we let the Dungeon Bowl colleges in with some caveats.
Mm-hmm.
And then a split, only 1 Skaven. Almost, am I looking at, I think I have this right, 0 elves? I think there were 0 elves.
Yeah, I don't remember an elf team being there on the day.
I do not see. No?
There was a dark elf team.
Oh, there was. They came in late. No.
Yep.
Where did they go? Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was a dark elf team. That's right. There was only 1 ogre. That was a bit sad. But as I said, huge spread of teams, but heavily weighted in the stunty direction. And then skills. So we did encourage people. So firstly, we told them they could only buy 1 of each skill on their team. So no just block spamming. But we did also give people additional points for taking unique and, skills that no one else had thought of. So we did still have the lion's share with a grand total of only 13 players choosing to take block.
Yeah, it's a third.
I would argue only a third of players taking block is pretty solid.
Yeah, no, that's true. We had a number of people take no skills as well. That seemed to be very high this year.
There were a lot of people thinking that taking no skills would be the equivalent of uniquely taking or taking a unique skill, and boy, were they wrong. But again, there was so many options to cram stuff into your roster that, everything came at a premium, and sometimes the skills were not the premium, I think. Interestingly, though, after block, guard was the next, and then sure feet, sure hands. So people were really sure, and then dodge.
That's unusual, but I suppose with a large number of study teams,
there's a lot of dodge already kicking around.
A lot of dodge there anyway.
Yeah. And potentially, arguably, they would be teams that don't need guard, but probably do need sure hands. And everyone loves sure feet, because who doesn't love a rush? Some of the less taken skills, foul appearance. Someone paid for that.
That's awesome. I love foul appearance.
We might actually find that roster in a minute, though, because that was a good one. Somebody took Fumblerooski.
And you know why he took Fumblerooski.
Absolutely, and they got the point for it.
He certainly did.
And I don't think they used it all day. So accurate was actually, and pass were, I think, ones that only got one. Two heads, again, very useful skill. Would recommend only one of them. And then a bunch through. So look, a really good mix of teams, a really good mix of differences in teams. He says, looking for that silly. Who was it? That was Pat. Come here. Because I really appreciated a couple of people who picked up on the fact that we didn't restrict players to one additional skill each.
No, we didn't.
Which was my favorite part of the whole day. Because Pat, as an example, as the person who took foul appearance, ran Underworlds, run Stunty Underworlds, because our definition of that was strength 2 and strength 5, nothing in between. You know what? Strength 2 is a gutter runner.
Yep, they certainly are.
And if you decide to spend up big on a gutter runner, you end up with a gutter runner who already shows up with dodge and agility 2+, and you give them block and sidestep and sure feet and foul appearance.
This all sounds like a very powerful, strong roster.
It was glorious.
And then you get to the fact that during the day, Pat's goal was to draw every game. And I'm pretty sure he got there.
I'm relatively sure he did that through all kinds of shenanigans, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yep.
Other key players that were my favorite were Moose's halfling Pancakes, who was a halfling lineman with block, frenzy, and dauntless.
Yep.
Which is the greatest thing in the world. And Matt, being Matt, absolutely used that to every uphill block he could come with. And equally, I could not help but really embrace the stupidity that went along with stacking skills. I took one of my all-time favorite teams, Slan, and took an absolutely bare bones team, but Kermit, my super catcher, who was my catcher with block, dodge, sidestep, fend, and sure feet, as the player that I have always wanted.
And how did he perform on the day?
Died so much.
I mean, that's what happens. You know, you stack all the skills on one player, that becomes a target for the other team, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I made sure that everybody knew. Like, I called the team Kermit, and Kermit and Friends.
Yep.
And here is Kermit. This is the rest of the team. We don't care for them. But yeah, Kermit the Wonder Frog.
Oh, I love it.
That was the kind of silliness that we got. And, between seeing a couple of college teams come out, a bunch of people jump onto the stunty bandwagon, it was just glorious.
Nah, it's fantastic. It was a good day. Good bunch of people. Good bunch of lists.
Mm.
Um, everyone was there for the right reasons, which is to have fun and hopefully raise some money for a good charity. We did have a couple of awards that we handed out, and ironically, none for first, second, or third, as we usually do on Why So Serious. But I'll go through the awards now. So, just not an award, but the round points. I'll do the top three. So, round points. If this was a normal tournament, Tim would have won 99 points. He is always high up there with our tournaments. He's always played really well. Number 2, Taylor, 87 points.
Dang.
Doing extremely well. And number 3 in her first tournament with us was Mai at 79 points.
Glorious.
Yeah.
With a team that I don't think Mai's played before as well, with the Vamps.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was exceptionally cool. Really worth pointing out, all 3 of those players played very, very well, and it counts for nothing as far as the
Nobody gives
awards.
any shit, guys.
Chose the wrong tournament to do well in, guys.
Yeah, it feels like we echo life, if I'm honest. Like, who doesn't perform the best when it doesn't count? Because, speaking of stats that I forgot to mention, alongside the 9 stunty teams, there were 6 giants kicking around on the day.
Yes, I want to talk about the Giants a little bit later on when we get into the rounds.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was
we fucked
6
with
Giants. Yeah. So the prizes that we do for Why So Serious, we do what we call the Points Award, which we give multiple ways throughout the weeks leading up to Why So Serious that you can earn points. Things like coming in costume and taking skills that nobody else has done, that sort of thing. So the points war came down to a wrestling intro, walk-off, and was taken out by Moose with 31 points. Moose always goes all out for the points war. He really enjoys every aspect of it, not necessarily wanting to win, but definitely wanting to be a part of everything.
The commitment to the costume, the new team that he'd painted up for it, the extra stuff he'd done for theme around it, the fact he recorded a song and sent that to us, like, properly all out. And it is so much fun to see people go to all of this fun and effort to go through and just come and do stupid shit and end up in a walk-off at the end of the day.
Yeah, really embrace the day. That was amazing. Knee pads for the person that came right in the middle.
Was that the knee pads for the person who came best sports? Or
no, sorry, you're right.
Nothing special.
Nothing special. Thank you very much. I've put the wrong thing in here, but that's all right. Nothing special was Callum, who came 17th on points for the overall day. The best opponent also went to Moose. So we had 3 people. Moose, Aaron, and Archie all ended up on 3 points. So 3 of the 4 players that played them throughout the day thought they were the best opponent on the day, which is huge. Moose happened to get the award because he finished fairly low down. And I don't think Moose would have that any other way too.
No.
He did come up to me later and he said, "Why did you get me to do a walk-off if I'd already won best opponent? Why didn't you just give it to Archie, who he was up against?" And I'm like, I hadn't calculated that at that point.
Yeah. Don't overestimate our ability to organize. But yes.
Yeah. And then coolest team. So Lewis took this out with 41 points. Now, Lewis's team, can you bring that up?
I can bring that up. But it was pretty because it was his Croc Gators, wasn't it?
Yes.
Little swamp gator team. L for Lewis. I can totally do things. So he was playing Goblins.
Mhm.
Many people played the Goblins, which was a whole bunch of Goblin linemen. Cool story. A bribe that seems important. With a loony fanatic, the Pogo, and the Bomber. So the Bomber rocked in with Cannoneer and Hail Mary pass and pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pogo came in with sidestep and sure feet.
That's pretty cool.
Block and sure hands.
So you need that bribe for that Bomber to stay on a bit.
Yeah.
Do some damage. But yeah, they were all Crocs, weren't they?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all the little swamp gators, and they all had their bloody wife beaters and ripped jeans and overalls. And he had like a little house that they all came in. He did a full-on display board for them too, which was super cool. So he went all out on the theme for the team, and they're very pretty. And his painting is just leaps and bounds at the moment.
Oh yeah, just insane. Like he's always been good, but it just keeps on getting better and better and better.
Keeps leveling up.
He does. It was actually very close though, because for quite some time the coolest team was hotly contested until the last couple of votes, really. So Moose ended up third on 37 points.
And again, you lean into the theme, and this is what happens. And Moose was one of the giants, but Moose's giant was a giant spider because he had a Lord of the Rings themed halfling team with Shelob.
Yep. And Dylan ended up with 39 points. So.
Which the display board on that, so Dill rolled into the wrestling theme. He took the Wreath and Agni halfling, the Lunchadors. He showed up in a muscle costume with a bloody wrestling mask and the whole lot. But this team, he'd built a little wrestling ring out of it. He had a giant that was Andre the Giant, and it was a pop vinyl of Andre the Giant.
I got that for him, and because it was one of those stupid pops that comes in a big box, and he had to rip the box apart to take the pop out, but it suited so well.
It was so good, and he painted he had the whole crowd around the ring. He had announcers and stuff. He went properly all out. He had giant dice for his giant that he'd made, and they were giant dice. They were
huge. First time he was rolling it, I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "They're for my giant."
It so made sense. Yeah, he had to bring a yoga mat to roll them on. It was ridiculous, but again, all out for theme, and it was so good to see people just living, loving, laughing, all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the biggest award that we had is the awesomest, most awesome player of awesomeness.
I mean, that sounds like the most awesome award.
It does, doesn't it? So what it is it's a collection of the most number of points. So that's the points that you get for your rounds, points you get for the best opponent, coolest team, any points that you can get on the day. That's what goes into that. So I'm just trying to load up. Where is my...
It's a prize veiled in mystery because, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how it's calculated, if I'm honest. But I trust that it's calculated. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can get, and you add them all up, and that the person who wins that wins. It's just exactly what things add up. I don't know. It's not important.
So it's your points for so all those points that you're trying to get before the day, they all count. It's the points that you get for the special round rules,
Mm-hmm.
the points you get for, best. We had the pink vest in there as well this year.
Oh, we did.
Best opponent, coolest team, and your round points. So it's all of those added up together. And I've just found them on Facebook because stupid Discord renumbered my numbering, which really annoyed me. So I'm going to go from the bottom. So in 33rd place, because I took you out of this.
Rude.
I know, right? Was Grant with 45 points. 32nd was Oz with 46 points. 31st was Craig with 47 points. 30th was Pez with 50 points. 29th, Glenn, 51 points. 28th, Callum, 60 points. 27th, Aaron on 61 points. 26th, Josh with 67 points. 25th, Toby with 74 points. 24th, Lachlan with 76 points. And then equal 22nd with 77 points was Ant S and Patrick. Ben, 78 points on 21st. Mark, 20th with 80 points. 18th was Ant T and James, both with 85 points. 17th, Brad with 89 points. Equal 15th, Cody and Scott with 91 points. 14th was Lee A with 93 points. 13th, Chad with 94 points. 12th was Matt with 107 points. Equal 10th, Taylor and Moose with 110 points each. 9th was Yelv with 113 points. 8th was Dylan with 117 points. Equal 6th was Lee T and Archie, both with 121 points. 5th, Mai with 122 points. Followed by Tim in 4th place with 125 points. So that, 99 points he got for winning the day wasn't enough to get him the Awesome Player Award. 3rd, Clinton, 135 points. 2nd, Jace playing his first TCG event, 139 points. But the most awesome player of awesomeness was Lewis with 148 points. So all those points that he got for coolest team plus his rounds, he did reasonably well in the rounds as well, so that helped. But
you got to play the whole game. You got to do all the things. Yeah,
everything. You have to be good at. You have to be not crap at everything to get your name on our belt.
You have to be singularly focused on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a certain, a ridiculous amount of hyperfixation on all of the wrong things to get all of the right points. That's the moral of the story.
That's right. And Lewis, well done, mate. You definitely deserved it. It was an awesome showing on the day.
And your name is now going to be on the shiniest belt.
It is. It is. I should get around to doing that. I'm going to do it soon.
Yeah, you've been on holidays. You're allowed.
I know. So the whole premise of Why So Serious is stupid rules every round. So let's get into those.
We had some of them.
We definitely did. Round 1, Dungeon Bowl.
Dungeon Bowl. So if anybody has played Dungeon Bowl, that's what we did. But nobody knew that coming in. So they thought they were coming in for a regular game of Blood Bowl 7s. And we went, nah, here's some dungeons. Play in there. Here's some portals. The balls that might be in these boxes. They might explode. Who knows? And there are a whole bunch of people that have played Dungeon Bowl. We've played a fair bit of it around the traps here. There are a number of people who went, what the actual fuck is Dungeon Bowl? And that was wonderful. There was a little bit of tweaking, I suppose, that we had to do to make it work. Things like people could win. So you can win Dungeon Bowl really, really quickly. if you score and then the game ends. Ta-da.
Mm-hmm.
And what we didn't want is people playing a really quick game and then being bored for the next however long. So we made it the first to score 2 or the first to 3 or something
First
like
to
that.
2.
Yeah. But that means that we had 2 balls in play, and then we had to find out what happens when a ball hits the touchdown line. It was, there were a whole bunch of things there. And then because Dungeon Bowl has portals are a thing. And so you bring your team onto the portals and they bounce around and players explode. But we also had giants.
Yep.
And so we had to come up with a way for a giant to work in a portal, which we may have totally done like the day before. Because do they fit? Well, yes, they do. They're magic, is the moral of that story. But a giant takes up a lot of squares, and so you've got to nudge everybody out the way for that to work.
Dungeon Bowl. I love Dungeon Bowl. But geez, I could have done with you as TO rather than player. I can tell you that much.
I was playing Ben, who was relatively new. I think they've played a bunch on the PC, and they've played a couple of games with Moose. They were borrowing a team from Moose because they hadn't played tabletop much before, and had never seen Dungeon Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those that it was really good to have someone who had played Dungeon Bowl to be able to walk someone through it. But I know a lot of those games were probably happening.
Yep.
And having extra hands on deck to be like, no, this is how it works. No, you've got to go, all right, now do the portal. And this is what happens when someone portals into a portal and all of that jazz. There was more than, so what we normally do is put a page of rules out to say, here's the thing for the round that you need to be aware of.
Yep.
And Dungeon Bowl took more than a page, and that was probably a sign.
Yes. Yes, we can get into that with our overall thoughts, but yeah, I've got thoughts. Anyway, round 2. You sunk my battleship.
You did. It was sunken. So the premise of this is we gave each player a little map of the board and the ability to put down 4 little bombs almost anywhere on that map. And then if anybody stepped on the bomb, it exploded like a bomb and everybody fell down and potentially died, is the moral of that story. So what it resulted in were the highest anxiety I've seen in a room of players as every time they went to move a square, like you'd go, I'm going to put this guy here, and then stop and pause and wait and then breathe. And they go, and now he's going to move here. Okay, we're good. It did take for some longer games because that was the way that everyone was moving, and it was glorious. I was playing Josh with the nobility, and unfortunately all my bombs went off really, really quickly that I'd placed. So he knew where all the bombs on the pitch were, and I knew where none of the bombs on the pitch were. It was fun.
Oh, dear. Round 3, Streaker.
Apart from the actual ones that showed up, no. So everybody got, as part of their little swaggy bag, they got a little model. And that model was a streaker. And he had a little censored sign across his crutch as he's jiggled his way around. But the idea here is that before each team activated, so before the player turn, the streaker would activate and he would move 5 squares, kind of like a ball and chain. We're using the throw-in template. And if he would move into the square that somebody was in, instead, he had a chance to hypnogaze them.
Yep.
Because it's very distracting. And people weren't allowed to block him, and he stayed on the pitch for the whole game and was just generally irritating.
Yes. Look at that flubber fly.
So he just waved all his juicy bits in everybody's faces, and they got a little bit distracted and lost all their tackle zones and some of their skills.
And this model was glorious.
It's so much fun, and painting him was so much fun because he's just silly. So sculpted by the always talented Agni Miniatures, did a custom sculpt for it, so it's only the players that showed up on the day that are going to have him. And I don't know what I'm going to do with mine, but he needs to do something cool because he's just. I busted out the painted one for the game. I was playing Moose, and we had the slan, and he's the flings, and this just fat guy in a trench coat running around.
So cool to see. And then we had round 4, Take a Dive.
Oh my God. I should have seen this coming.
We should have seen a lot of things coming.
Oh my God. So 2 parts to that. One is every player got a skill, and we called it Take a Dive. And the idea was that if you had someone block your player and you didn't fall down, you could choose to take a dive, and you placed your player prone, and on a 4+, the player who blocked you was sent off. They go to reserves. It wasn't a sent off for the game or anything, but they're placed in reserves because the ref saw them and went, hey, that was a bit too harsh. So it was this risk and reward game of you could put a player prone. That's not good, but you might get the player blocking you sent off. That sounds good. That was the in-game effect, and it was a thing, and it was fun. It was fun, but we also said once per game, the coach could take a dive, but they had to actually do it. They had to physically, in the room, take a dive. And if it was convincing enough for a TO to say, yeah, no, that's absolutely, then the player who did the block got sent off for the game automatically. No if, buts, or maybes.
Yep.
Dear. I pooped a little the first time that happened. We had some pretty convincing dives.
We had, and as the only TO on the day, I pretty quickly had to come up with some sort of way for me to either notice it or not notice it.
Yes.
Because, people were, screaming out and yelling, and, Lee had the best dive of the day where he threw something at me. He threw a stuffed animal at me and hit me in the back of the head, so obviously I noticed that. But I pretty quickly had to... Yeah, that's why I won. Archie, I think, was the first dive of the game, and he had tomato sauce all over his face.
He did that. I saw after he read the rules, he went to the cafe that they've got their little canteeny thing, and he was asking for something, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I realized he asked for a cup of tomato sauce.
Yep, that's why. So he had old fake blood. So he was almost the winner in that round for the best dive, but Lee took it out by hitting me with something. But I very quickly had to work out some way of going, okay, well, how am I going to not see some of these things? And there's, case to be made of, you've got to be loud or whatever. I just quickly determined that, it would depend mostly on which way I was facing and if I saw it happen. And if people decided to take a dive behind me...
That was a terrible choice.
Yeah. I was leaning over, giving like a rules inquiry answer at some table, and somebody took a dive behind me, and I'm like, no, I'm busy. I'm not interrupting my rules clarification here. I think, was it Josh? Someone took a dive and actually hurt themselves.
Oh, God. That was in the rules not to do that. We put that specifically. Don't hurt yourself. Don't break anything.
Yeah.
So contravening the rules. What is this?
Yeah. So that was round 4.
I did enjoy the concept of a physical challenge as part of the...
Oh, I did too. So good segue. Let's talk overall thoughts for the day. What worked, what didn't?
All right.
First of all, giants. I know we let people take them.
And people love taking them. I
And
love
people,
taking them.
yes, but I think a lot of the round rules didn't help giants at all.
That's not my problem. You want to
So
take
yes,
the giant, you're allowed to take the giant. Here's your opportunity. You know what you're in for here. But equally, you're taking up 4 squares every time you move. So your chance of stepping on a bomb, oh, unlucky.
yeah,
Maybe don't move the giant so much. Like, there's your
maybe
solution.
giant doesn't go down hallways in Dungeon Ball all that well either.
He takes up so much space.
He's a bigger target for a streaker, and if he's getting that push or whatever, that giant is absolutely your target for
Oh, mate.
you physically taking a dive.
Everything he blocked would be, yeah, I'm taking that out. Like, yes, but also you've just taken a giant. I absolutely hear you, Ani. I've just invested over 300 of my best copper coins, and we're just making it really fucking hard for that player.
Dear. All right, that was a bit of fun. The rounds, I think. Have you had much feedback sent to you?
Not heaps, bits and shits from a couple of people, and I think there's some really good ideas kicking around. My thoughts. So Dungeon Bowl, I really enjoyed, and a lot of people really, really enjoyed, but logistically tricky with that many different rules.
Yes. Yeah, I think I love Dungeon Bowl, but I think perhaps in a 45-minute round, something that not everybody, we're not just adding one rule.
No, it's a lot to take on if you know nothing about it. It's a lot to ask of another player to coach you through all of that as well, and to hit the hour 15 or whatever it is that you've got to play the rule. There's probably still some benefit to doing, potentially, if you're going to have multiple round rules, the most confusing one first and just letting people get it over and done
agreed.
with. But logistically, organizing it was a fucking nightmare.
Yes.
You need multiple people to help, and there is just too much that is outside of the core mechanic of the game that people need to absorb instantly for it to be easy for everyone.
Yep.
That being said, a lot of people had a lot of fun, and maybe a Dungeon Bowl event is a solution to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can potentially look into that. We do have some of those mats, which we printed off, kicking around. So if anybody wants one of those, get in contact with us. Battleship.
Again, great idea, tricky execution.
Yes.
So I loved the anxiety of stepping into every single square that whole fucking game and trying to remember where people had avoided. Like, you'd almost watch where your opponent didn't put things. But what it meant is everyone would move a model, and then both players would try and check the sheet that they had with all the bombs marked on it. So it was just logistically tricky to go, where is the bombs I've got to keep track of 4 squares on this pitch. Having a think about other ways you could do it, I think there are some fun ones, and it could be, here are a whole bunch of tokens on the pitch, and all of them could be bombs, or none of them could be bombs. So I think there are other ways that we could play with it, as much as I really enjoyed the secret squirrel.
Yep.
Without an really elegant way of identifying those squares, obviously for everybody, it was I think some people miss them, and then it's awkward because if someone steps on it and you don't call it, and then you do next time, but I've already stepped there, like it starts to, like, so you kind of miss out. If you miss the opportunity, you miss out. And it was a lot, and it slowed games down. But fuck, the anxiety was good.
Oh dear. Streaker.
I think this was good in that it was. It wasn't a thing that you could get rid of. In some previous times, we've added a player onto the pitch, and people have just gone, "Nah, fuck that guy. He's going to interrupt my game," and just murdered the extra piece.
So we had, I think, what was it? Was the Series 1? We had the Goblin Ball and Chain.
Yes, and that was one that people either it just zipped into the ether, it went off the pitch, it did things, and then it never came back. The Minnow Ref was the interesting one where it kind of started blitzing, but that kind of went snowbally one way or the other.
Yep.
This one, I think,
Bad McEat.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah.
That was a great life choice by us, because that was that you could throw any player once per half or something.
And we just wanted to see Jones thrown.
That's all I wanted to do with it. And then I think the Streaker was a good balance of in-game effect without being completely swingy, without really screwing one person over the other. There is absolutely ways to simplify. I think the trick with that is the more you can simplify the rules and keep a very similar effect, the better. I mean, I wrote the rules and I got them wrong for the first couple of turns.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
No, that surprises nobody, let's be honest.
No.
It also meant that if you didn't want them to be part of the game much, you could be like, no, I'm going to move them over this way. And then your opponent had a choice to go, no, I want them back. Or you could agree and actually just play a game of sevens and leave them off on the pitch. But arguably anyone could do that anyway.
Take a dive.
It actually didn't come up too much in the game we played. I was playing, bottom of the area, and we're just like, this is how to play sevens. Like, it was almost back to a teaching game, the one I was playing. It didn't really come in. I liked the concept. Again, I love the concept of the round rule. I love this risk and reward of you can put a player down, but it might take their player off. And there'd be some really fun times, I think, in game where, do you want to blitz me at the ball carrier? Do you want to do that? Because no matter what happens. So I think there's some cool things there. I really enjoyed the physical challenge of it, but maybe let's not encourage people to throw themselves at the floor.
Yes.
It turns out natural selection is not the friend of most of our tournament attendees.
Look, I love both the idea. I love the way it worked. Throwing people on the floor, which seemed to be the way that everybody did it. I don't know if there's another way of taking dive, but look, I think this year round 3 and 4 were definitely the standouts for me. I think rounds 1 and 2, they were good fun. People seemed to be enjoying themselves, but I think we potentially could have made those better.
Yep.
And this is a learning experience, like anything that we do. We don't do it well, so apologies in advance for everything that we ever do.
The excellent thing, I suppose, is the fact that everybody went, we get what this day is about, and we're going to lean into the fun. So the fact that it was a little bit hard or it was confusing didn't matter, because there's no sheep stations here. No. And everybody took it in the spirit it was intended. And I think it's a tricky spot. We're trying to find rules that have enough of an effect, but not too much, and you can pick up really quickly, but are interesting and they're unique and all of those things. So it's actually really tricky to come up with all of the round rules and to keep them different as well. I think we've got some good suggestions from a couple of people too for future iterations, which could be fun to explore. And, maybe we'll play test them one day.
Maybe.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. No. Whoa.
Well, overall, I think the day was pretty successful. We managed to raise $1,925 for Beyond Blue, which
Mm-hmm.
is just huge.
Mm.
I didn't actually think that we were going to beat last year's, and we beat it by nearly $300, I think. So, yeah. So a couple of thanks for the day. So thank you very much to Tats Tabletop. He made all the dice for the day. He always does such an incredible job, and I keep going back to him. Like, hey, what about this? Can you make this? Can you do this? Can you make this? I messaged him today. I'm like, this is going to be my next order from you. He's like, okay.
We'll talk about that in a bit. Speaking
Yeah.
of, that reminds me about another idea. We'll
Cool.
talk about that later too. But
All right,
absolutely,
note that
the
down.
dice. So, firstly, the dice. He supplies all the dice for the day, including we gave away dice to everyone who came. Just D6, a couple of D6. Everybody had a chance for a block dice, so they could, if they get once a day, reroll for one of their block dice, and he did special custom ones of those, which are my new favorite block dice set. If I'm honest, the purple and green is so
Really
good.
sweet.
Yeah. So they've been the ones I've been using. But on top of all of that, he did a bunch of one-off custom block dice sets for us to auction and dice sets for us to auction, including a whole bunch of unique colors and at least one set of his hand-poured resin dice as well that were gorgeous. So a huge shout out to Chris at Tats, because they were quality, and he came through with a whole bunch of stuff for us for the day. And as I said, very good. If you are chasing dice, if you are chasing stuff 3D printed as well, he does a lot of the Blood Bowl printing as well. And he's pretty up for a lot of things. So give the guy a message. But there's some very pretty stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Those resin dice were just incredible. They were so sweet. They went for $70, I think, in the end. And he had some, leftover metal dice from Serious Swag, but just the idea. And I love this idea. I thought, I'm just going to get him to make the handful of extra block dice, one-off sets. And it was his idea to have like the colors being like the complete opposite on the color spectrum. So
well played.
Just look, and I won the pink dice. I was quite happy about that. So.
Yeah, I may or may not have bought a set as well.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. I think we were putting them out the night before, like setting everything up for the silent auction. I literally put the sheet down for one of those. I'm like, I'm bidding on these ones, and I was the first bid, and I was the last bid because I was not having someone else.
Tats did amazing work for us, and under the pump, and can't thank him enough. So huge thanks to Tats. Guff Geelong, they donated a voucher and a paint set as well. That was fantastic. Game Goblin. So Game Goblin did the Dungeon Bowl tokens.
Yeah.
And God, they were beautiful.
They're very pretty.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got a couple of things from them previously. And that, again, it's one of those things that you don't know what you sort of, I'm like, oh, how are these going to turn out? Is it going to be okay? And then you get them in the hand. You're like, ooh, oh no, I like these.
Yeah.
I made some more things like this. And he does a whole lot of tokens and like the slam mats and other stuff for and small runs, custom stuff. If you just want something for your team to match and stuff like that as well. So it's everything from, hey, we're going to a tournament, we want a team group of things, to I just want a one-off for myself, to, hey, we're doing a tournament, we want something for everybody. Happy to kind of scale to suit.
Yeah. And I want an extra shout out to Gav about this, because I contacted him pretty early on. I said, how much would this be? And he came back with a quote, and I said, look, I honestly, I get that. I can't justify spending that much on these tokens because it's a charity event, and I don't want to use up all of the money that would go to the charity on things like this. And he turned around straight away and said, "Oh, if it's a charity event, I'll do them for you for free." And that was his donation, and that was just really, it meant a lot.
And it was huge. It was off the cuff. It's like, and I think it really does speak to how important this charity is to so many people as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
and lastly, our last sponsor, Pop Culture. We got some vouchers from them to do to give away to our round winners. And I say them like it's me. I haven't been at work for a couple of weeks, so pop culture is feeling very far away. But Archie said to me one Tuesday night, he goes, "Oh, is pop culture getting involved this year?" I said, "Oh, I haven't asked." He goes, "Why not?" And then I thought about it, and so I sent a message through to my boss at 7:30 on a Tuesday night and said, "Hey, can I buy a couple of these things to give away? Is that okay with you?" And he said, "No, it's not. Just we'll donate them." So straight away, again, knowing that it's for a charity and knowing that what this means, such a huge help having people like that we can help support.
It is just the generosity of all of those the people and companies that have come in has been huge. It's been overwhelming, and the overwhelming generosity of the players as well has been wonderful. They were all happy to get involved. I did stupid middle of the day or lunchtime games for the voucher from Guff. So we literally got a whole bunch of people around a table and gave them a box of dice and said, whoever can stack the most dice in 10 seconds gets the voucher. And they all donated to get involved, and then they all tried to stack dice, and it was stupid. I was inspired by Space Kids. It was great.
Yes. That's amazing.
And that table was so fucking wobbly. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It was
and I don't think people were really taking care to keep it steady either.
No.
The last person or people that I want to thank is absolutely the people that came on the day. So thank you for indulging us in this stupid event that we run each year. We've done it 4 years running now, so as much of a pain as something like this can be to organise, the feedback. Yeah, that is a thing. But the feedback that we get is just huge and much appreciated. And, without the donations that you guys make, without you guys getting on board with everything that we're doing, it wouldn't be the success that it was. So thank you, everyone.
It's absolutely the community that takes it the step further than we ever could. We say take a dive and they're getting tomato sauce. It's that kind of, we say, hey, here's an idea, and they just take it and run in every instance. And that goes from the themes and the songs and just the extra hype for the day, the leaning into the round rules. And they're like, I'm sorry, you want me to do what? And I get points for how many dives I take. Every time you block me, my players are taking dives. This kind of stuff. And then to go, oh no, we're here to raise money. Great. Where are my opportunities to donate or to, bid on items or to get involved in stuff? It's, it's genuinely, you almost feel guilty asking people because they keep giving, but it is such a good cause, and we're so glad to be able to be part of it and to put anything towards it. And that is absolutely due to everyone that attended. So the success of the day is ultimately theirs.
Absolutely. So our thanks to you guys. Is it time?
Is it? Are we sure? Because I've lost my mouse.
Have you found it?
Yeah, I did it. Did you not hear
I
it?
did not hear it. No,
Oh,
I
I
didn't hear
played
it
it.
this time. Oh, okay.
It's done.
All right, cool. We hadn't actually planned anything for this, so I'm just going to throw this at you. Last weekend, I jumped in on the Sunday to help run Big V. To be quite honest, I did nothing of any sort of help. Really, I packed down.
Another day at the office then, yeah, cool.
I answered some questions and I got some of them right, most of them right. Someone did not, but that's okay. But what I wanted to run past you is this or that. There is the cheeky V and there is the big V. If you have the choice and the ability to attend one, which would it be?
I'm sorry, that's a question.
That's a question, because I'm pretty sure that I know the answer.
What you're asking me is, would I go to 2 days of Blood Bowl 11s to one of the biggest events in the Southern Hemisphere with 100 and God knows how many players in a room to grind through, 6 games?
6 games.
6 games of Blood Bowl 11s. Or would I show up on a Friday night where it isn't licensed and play 3 games of Blood Bowl 7s and then go home? That is the choice. In every single instance, you show up, you play the fastest goddamn games of Blood Bowl 7s you possibly can. You do some stupid shit for bingo, and you've shown up after work, you go home, you're in bed by midnight, fucking everyone wins, you have had the greatest time in the world, and you don't have to go back tomorrow.
Yep. I figured that was the answer.
Not even a question. The fact that I have been a registered attendee for the last 2 years and have not been able to attend either of those goddamn evenings is a travesty. It is a crime against humanity, and by humanity, I mean me.
Yes. You have been known as being human.
But I will say, look, Big V is huge. Johnny puts a huge amount of work into it. I've played very little Blood Bowl 11s in the recent history. I've done a couple of games in the not too recent history, and a game of Blood Bowl, like a full game, hurts my brain in ways that I didn't remember it hurting. And to do that 3 times in a row, go home, come back and do it again is an unusual and cruel form of torture that I don't know that I could endure. The idea of a 2-day event is honestly grueling, painful, and mildly terrifying. Not my bag at the moment.
It is quite scary. I'm just, part of my brain says I would like to do Big V one year because it's a hell of an event. And like, there are so many people, and you get to, there are obviously things at stake and people playing for.
There are the upper echelons that we are not meddling in.
But that is like the top tables. The bottom tables, so much fun is being had. The people are, having an awful lot of fun. They're not playing for sheep stations. They're just there to have fun and be part of the day, which is kind of appealing, to be quite honest.
Blood Bowl is a fun game. We play it because it is a fun game. I play Blood Bowl 7s more because it is more fun, but that's my choice. Ultimately, more Blood Bowl is good. So, and it's like every single event. There are the people who are going to win and they're going to go play themselves up the top, and there are people who are going to drink and they're going to put it, and have fun and giggle, and they're going to be everywhere else. And you are more likely to pay a whole bunch of people there for exactly the same reason you are than anyone else. So it's not bad, and it is such a well-run event. It is so
Johnny
slick.
does such a good job.
It is everything that we aren't. And at some point, we should probably just take lessons. But if you're going to go, if you are going to play an Australian Blood Bowl tournament, that is the pinnacle of. if you want to play an actual Blood Bowl tournament. If you want to do stupid shit, come and talk to us.
Yeah.
But equally, give me the chance to play 3 games in less than 3 hours, and I am all in.
Yeah, look, I love sevens. I absolutely think it's the more fun version of Blood Bowl to play. Same time, like we do sevens events and stuff like that. I know how much goes into doing them. I know that Rob does a great job with Cheeky. Something about Big V appeals, whereas Cheeky, I feel like I've done it. I don't necessarily need to do it every year.
It's less than 3 hours of your day. Why would you not do that every single opportunity is my point.
I still remember the first one I signed up for, and I sent through my my team list, and Rob came back and said, "Oh, you can't have that, selection of players. It's sevens." I'm like, yeah, no, I absolutely can. Don't talk to me about sevens. I kind of know a bit about sevens.
Yeah, their hands went on their hips.
Oh, that Karen was coming out, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But
what actually happened though is you went, "Fuck, have I lost everything I've ever known?" And you checked
double check before. I had to double check because I'm like, have I?
We sound confident now, but actually. Have we been? And what's happened is I think you messaged me and I went, "Fuck, have we been getting this wrong the whole time?" And panicked and did exactly the same thing. Anyway.
Turns out, no, we hadn't.
No, we fucking know what we're on about. Stop, don't question.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, dear. On that note, you got anything else to add?
No, just cheers to all those that came, and Blood Bowl Sevens is better. Regards.
Absolutely. Give us a follow. Facebook, Spotify, Podbean, Twitch, Instagram. Thank you, as always, to the people that help us do what we do and make stupid events where, giants are coming through dungeons. Our Patreons are just incredible, and I cannot thank them enough. Thank you to our lifetime Patreons, Alice and Clinton, and to our thoughtless Patreons, Ant, Archie, Craig, Gertzy, Jared, and Kingsley. You guys are awesome, and it does, we say that we can't believe that anybody gives us money, and we still can't. But the fact that you guys, believe in what we're doing enough and to help us out is huge. So thank you. Yeah. On that note, laters.
Gotcha.
No.